Money is one of the main triggers for conflicts in a relationship. Who hasn't felt the tension of arguing over expenses or been annoyed by an unexpected purchase made by their partner? But are financial fights really inevitable? Spoiler alert, no, they aren't. The truth is that there are practical and effective strategies that can transform a couple's finances from a ticking time bomb into a source of harmony and unity. Sounds too good to be true. Follow this definitive guide, which will reveal the secrets many couples haven't discovered yet. Imagine being able to talk about money without that nervous feeling or walking on eggshells. What many don't realize is that mastering finances together can lead not only to stability but also to strengthening the bond and partnership in the relationship. In this guide, we'll explore everything from the importance of open communication to creative tips for keeping the couple's financial life fun and light. You'll be surprised to discover that dealing with money can be much simpler than you think. And you know that saying about how money and love don't mix. Let's break that belief together. Here you'll find insights and strategies that will change how you view finances in your relationship. Whether you're the type who likes to plan every penny or the type who prefers to live in the moment, this guide will provide tools and ideas so both of you can work in sync. Get ready to transform your relationship with money and avoid the fights that have stolen many nights' sleep. Ready to embark on this journey and learn the secrets to a healthy and prosperous financial relationship? Let's go, because avoiding financial fights is possible, and you're about to learn everything in this video. You know that feeling of walking on eggshells when talking about money with your partner? Yep, many couples go through this. The truth is that talking about money is crucial to avoid financial fights in a relationship. And it doesn't have to be a tense conversation. Starting by discussing the dreams you have together, like traveling or buying a house, can make the dialogue lighter. When both understand each other's spending habits and financial goals, it's easier to align expectations and build a future together. Think about a couple who openly discussed their expenses and managed to save for their dream trip. It's not magic, it's open communication. But how do you start these tough conversations about finances without turning everything into a battlefield? An effective approach is to schedule a financial meeting in a neutral and relaxing environment, like a cafe or during a walk. Did you know that talking about money regularly, like a monthly financial checkup, can strengthen the relationship? It's like giving a boost to the relationship with each meeting. Having these conversations during calm moments, when there's no stress or financial crisis, helps keep the tone friendly and collaborative. And, of course, it's always worth remembering, the important thing is to listen and be heard, without judgment. Establishing an honest and transparent dialogue about finances also involves talking about each other's spending habits. Maybe you like to save every penny, while the other has a more free-spirited approach to spending. That's okay, everyone has their style. The key is to understand and respect these differences. How about, for example, creating a space for each person to spend on whatever they want, without the need for approval? A fun account for both can be an excellent strategy. Now, imagine how much easier it would be to handle finances if both had a clear understanding of the couple's priorities and limits. Not everyone sees money the same way, and that's okay. The way each person handles finances is often shaped by past experiences and the financial education they received, or didn't receive. It's like each person has a different pair of glasses to see financial matters. Some grow up in homes where money equals security and savings, while others see money as a tool to make the most of life. When these perspectives clash, that's when the fights start. The key is to understand and respect these differences. Imagine a couple where one loves to plan every penny, while the other is more impulsive with spending. This doesn't mean one is right and the other is wrong, they're just different styles. Here's where understanding the financial background each person brings comes in. Maybe the more controlled person grew up in an environment where financial instability was constant, while the other never had to worry about it. Understanding these origins helps foster empathy and find a balance point. It's like a puzzle. Finding that middle ground is an art and requires patience and constant dialogue. A practical strategy is to list individual and shared financial priorities and see where compromises can be made. For example, if one values saving for the future while the other prefers investing in present experiences, how about setting a budget that addresses both desires? Half of the saved amount could go into an investment account, while the other half could be allocated for trips or activities both enjoy. Now that we understand how different perspectives can impact finances, the next step is to work together toward common goals, without letting it drive you apart. Setting financial goals as a couple is like drawing a treasure map. Without a clear route, any path seems like the right one, but it rarely leads to the desired destination. Start this journey by discussing what you truly want to achieve, whether short, medium, or long term. It can be something simple like a weekend getaway or something more grandiose like buying a house. The important thing is that these goals are defined together, so both feel part of the plan. And remember, realistic and achievable goals are more motivating than vague dreams. A practical example is breaking down goals into smaller steps. If the goal is to buy a car, why not start by setting a monthly savings target? Let's say you've decided to save a fixed amount each month for this purpose. Reaching each small milestone, like saving the down payment, gives a sense of accomplishment that pushes you to continue. And how about celebrating these small achievements? It could be a special dinner or an activity you both enjoy. This not only reinforces the partnership but also makes the financial journey lighter and more enjoyable. Creating a realistic financial plan is essential for reaching these goals. This includes listing all income sources, identifying fixed and variable expenses, and deciding how much can be directed toward each goal. A common mistake is underestimating expenses, so a tip is to always set aside a safety margin for unforeseen events. Additionally, regularly reviewing these goals is crucial. As circumstances change, it's important for the financial plan to be flexible enough to adjust to new realities. For instance, if an investment opportunity or an unexpected expense arises. And speaking of paths, now that we have our goals set and a plan mapped out, it's time to take care of the budget and daily expenses, so everything becomes a tangible reality. Managing the budget is like running a small business, where every dollar has its place and function. The first step to avoiding financial fights in a relationship is to create a household budget that makes sense for both. A practical way to start is to list all income sources and expenses. It may seem tedious, but think of it as a guide that will help keep the ship sailing toward the set goals. There are various online tools and apps that facilitate this control, like Mint and You Need a Budget, in-app. Choosing one of these tools and using it regularly can turn financial management into an engaging activity. Splitting expenses fairly and equitably is another crucial piece of this puzzle. 50-50 isn't always the ideal division, especially when incomes are different. An alternative is to proportion expenses according to each person's income. For example, if one earns 60% of the couple's total income, they could contribute 60% of the expenses. This approach helps avoid resentment and fosters a sense of mutual collaboration. Remember, the important thing is that both feel comfortable with the division, as financial fairness is one of the pillars of a solid relationship. Another valuable tip is identifying where there might be leaks or excessive spending. One way to do this is to review expenses from the past few months and classify them as essential or non-essential. You might find out that daily coffee run or subscriptions to streaming services you barely use are draining more than you imagined. Once identified, you can choose to reduce or eliminate these expenses and redirect the money towards something that truly matters. And don't forget to set aside some funds for leisure and entertainment. After all, you can't live without that. With the budget organized and expenses under control, the next challenge is deciding on joint versus separate accounts. Deciding between joint and separate accounts is one of the most delicate matters when it comes to finances in a relationship. It's like choosing the game mode, individual or team play. Each option has its pros and cons, and the ideal is to find the model that best suits the couple's dynamics. Joint accounts can be great for simplifying the payment of shared expenses and fostering a sense of partnership. However, some people prefer to maintain financial independence with separate accounts, where each manages their own money. The key is to find a balance that works. A hybrid approach that many couples adopt is a combination of a joint account for common expenses and separate accounts for personal spending. It works like this: both contribute agreed-upon amounts to the joint account, which covers household expenses like rent, utilities, and groceries. The remainder of the income stays in individual accounts, giving each person the freedom to spend on their hobbies and interests. This strategy can prevent conflicts and give a sense of autonomy while promoting collaboration in shared activities. If you opt for a joint account, organization is key. Set clear rules about how and when the money will be used. For example, set a limit for individual spending from the joint account that doesn't require prior consultation with the partner. This helps avoid unexpected surprises and maintains transparency. Also, schedule regular financial meetings to review transactions and the joint account balance, ensuring that both are on the same page regarding money usage. Now that we've decided on the accounts, the next crucial step is tackling debt. After all, debt can be a major enemy of financial peace in a relationship. Debt can be like a ghost silently haunting the relationship, causing tension and insecurity. The good news is that, with a well-crafted plan and collaboration from both, it's possible to banish this ghost and achieve the much-desired financial freedom. The first step is to face the situation head-on. Make a detailed list of all debts, including amounts, interest rates, and terms. This can be scary at first, but it's essential to have a clear picture of what needs to be done. From there, work together to create a plan to pay off these debts. Working together on this mission can strengthen the relationship and create a sense of partnership. If one partner is more financially organized, they can take the lead in creating the repayment plan, while the other can contribute in other ways, like seeking opportunities for extra income. In fact, selling items that are no longer useful or doing small freelance jobs can be good strategies for raising some extra money. It's important that both get involved in the process, even if at different levels. Another crucial point is preventing debt from causing friction in the relationship. To do this, it's essential to keep communication open and not point fingers or blame the other for the situation. Instead, focus on solutions and what can be done from now on. Make a mutual commitment to avoid new debts, which may involve changing some spending habits and adopting a more conscious attitude toward finances. Think about creating an emergency fund, even if it's small, to cover unforeseen expenses and prevent falling back into debt. With a plan in place and a partnership mindset, the ghost of debt starts to lose its grip. And speaking of power, how about using this energy to start investing together? After all, the next step is not only to get rid of debt but also to make money work for you. Investing together is like planting a tree that will bear fruit for you to enjoy over time. The process may seem intimidating at first, especially if neither of you has experience with investments. But you don't have to be an expert to start. The important thing is to take the first step and learn along the way. A great way to start is by determining the couple's investor profile. Are you more conservative, preferring security even if returns are lower? Or are you willing to take a bit more risk in search of higher returns? This self-assessment is essential for choosing the best investments. After defining the profile, the next step is to start with simple and low-risk investments. Treasury bonds, certificates of deposit, CDs, and mutual funds are good options for beginners. For example, you could allocate a small monthly amount to these investments, making the habit of investing something routine rather than an isolated event. For those who want to venture a bit more, real estate funds or even shares of established companies can be an alternative. The idea here is to diversify, putting money in different types of investments. Investing for the long term is like giving a gift to your future selves. When thinking about goals like buying a property, children's education, or retirement, the power of compound interest becomes a powerful ally. A simple strategy like investing a fixed amount every month can make a huge difference over the years. Imagine a couple investing $300 a month for 20 years, with an average annual return of 8%. By the end of this period, they've accumulated a significant amount, without major sacrifices in the present. That's the power of long-term investing. Now that the couple is investing and building wealth together, it's time to think about financial planning for the future. After all, investing is just part of building a more secure life. Planning for the future is like drawing the map of a journey you'll take together. And this journey includes retirement, children's education, and even realizing dreams that may seem far off today. Starting with retirement planning is essential. It might seem like something in the distant future, but the earlier you start preparing, the more comfortable the journey will be. One option is to invest in private pension plans or a portfolio focused on long-term investments. Don't underestimate the power of time. The earlier you start, the better off you'll be. Another crucial aspect of financial planning is protecting the couple's assets. This involves having life insurance that ensures financial security if something unexpected happens. Additionally, consider insurance for the car, home, and even a health plan to protect against unexpected events. Insurance is like an umbrella. It may seem like an unnecessary expense on sunny days, but when a storm hits, it makes all the difference. The idea is to prevent unforeseen events from compromising the couple's financial stability. Protecting assets also means thinking about succession and the family's future. It might be a delicate subject, but having a will or a succession plan can avoid conflicts and ensure assets are distributed according to your wishes. This brings additional peace of mind, knowing that the future is well taken care of. Additionally, how about creating an education fund for the kids or finding ways to pass on financial education to them? Investing in the knowledge of the next generation is investing in a secure future. With a robust financial plan for the future, the couple can live in the present with more ease and fewer worries. And speaking of living in the present, it's always inspiring to hear real stories of other couples who have faced financial challenges and come out stronger from the experience. Real stories have the power to inspire and teach because they show that, despite the challenges, it's possible to have a healthy financial relationship. An example is Ana and Carlos, who started their life together in debt and without much financial knowledge. They decided to change that and started studying financial education together. They took online courses, watched videos, and read books like Rich Dad Poor Dad. In a few years, they managed to pay off all their debts and start investing for the future. Today, they share their experiences with other couples, showing that with dedication and partnership, anything is possible. Another inspiring couple is Marina and João, who went through a crisis when João lost his job. At first, it was hard to deal with the drop in income, and they found themselves arguing more than ever. But instead of letting the situation destroy their relationship, they decided to see it as an opportunity to reevaluate their finances. They cut expenses, sold items they no longer used, and started a small online business together. The experience strengthened them and taught them the importance of being a united team. And there's also the story of Leticia and Pedro, who had completely opposite views on money. She was a saver, and he was a spender. The fights were frequent until they decided to seek help from a financial coach. They learned to respect their differences and find a middle ground. They created a system where part of the income went into savings and another part into Pedro's free spending. Over time, Pedro also started to value financial planning, and together they were able to realize their dream of buying a house. Today, they have a balanced relationship with money and a much more peaceful financial life. These stories show that there's no single path to financial success in a relationship. Each couple finds their own solutions and strategies. And just as these stories teach us, it's always good to question what we think we know about money and relationships. Let's debunk some myths. Many myths surround the issue of money in relationships, and believing them can harm the couple's dynamics. A common myth is that money is the main cause of divorce. While finances can be a source of conflict, the real root of the problem is often a lack of communication and the inability to handle differences. Couples who openly communicate about their finances, as we've seen in previous examples, are more likely to overcome obstacles together, regardless of the bank account balance. Another myth is the belief that joint accounts mean absolute trust. While a joint account can be a sign of commitment, it's not the only indicator of trust. Often, keeping separate accounts is a way of respecting each other's financial independence. The important thing is that both are aligned on how money will be managed and that there is transparency, whether with joint accounts, separate accounts, or a combination of both. Each couple should find the model that suits them best. And who hasn't heard that money can't buy happiness? It's true that money alone doesn't guarantee a happy relationship, but a healthy financial life can reduce stress and provide security, creating an environment more conducive to happiness as a couple. Having a financial reserve, for example, can prevent fights in emergency situations. Additionally, money can be a tool for achieving dreams, like travel or buying a home, bringing moments of joy and fulfillment. Debunking these myths is crucial for making more conscious and informed decisions about a couple's finances. When we free ourselves from these preconceived notions, we make room for a healthier relationship with money. And speaking of making the subject lighter and more enjoyable, how about learning to keep the couple's financial life fun? Who said money has to be a heavy and serious topic? Turning the couple's financial life into something fun is possible. One of the most interesting ways to do this is through financial games and challenges. How about creating a friendly competition to see who can save the most in a month? The winner gets to choose a couple's activity, like a special dinner or a movie marathon. Besides being a creative way to save, this dynamic creates moments of closeness and turns money management into something light. Another great idea is adopting the concept of themed budget nights. For example, once a month, you could organize a MasterChef night, where the challenge is to prepare a dinner with a limited budget, using only ingredients you already have at home. Or how about a DIY night, do it yourself, where you create gifts, decorations, or even solutions for the house while spending as little as possible. Not only does this help save, but it also allows the couple to explore their creativity and skills together, turning the act of saving into a fun and engaging activity. You can also create a dream jar, which is a playful way to save money for common goals. Every time you save on something, put the amount saved into this jar, whether it's a physical jar or a separate digital account. When you reach certain milestones, like a value that allows for a small weekend getaway or a special experience, celebrate together. This adds a gamification element to finances and makes the saving process more enjoyable and motivating. And why not incorporate financial education as a couple's activity? Attend workshops, read books, or listen to podcasts about finances together, turning it into a moment of learning and conversation. Doing this with a lighthearted approach, maybe even with a bit of humor, helps demystify the subject and create a more open environment for discussing money. After all, the financial journey as a couple doesn't have to be a minefield, it can be a trail full of discoveries. By now, you have the map to navigate your relationship's finances without getting lost along the way. But what will you do with this knowledge? It's time to apply all of this in practice and transform your financial life together. Think about past financial fights and how different they would be if you'd use these strategies to avoid conflict and strengthen your partnership. How would it feel to look toward the future with security and peace of mind, knowing you're working together toward the same goals? Now, reflect. Are you willing to step out of your comfort zone and put into practice everything you've learned? Isn't it time to sit down with your partner and have that frank and open conversation about finances? Or maybe start planning the financial goals that will guide your future together. Remember, change starts with small steps, and every decision made together is a victory toward a healthy financial relationship. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to keep learning about building a healthy relationship in all areas, including finances. Share in the comments which tip caught your attention the most or which one you plan to put into practice first. Let's transform relationship finances together, because after all, money can be a powerful ally in a relationship. So, what are you waiting for? The key to avoiding financial fights is now in your hands. It's time to act, transform, and build a future together full of achievements and accomplishments. See you in the next video.